The Christmas table you know today looks nothing like the one our grandparents grew up with. Their holidays were filled with dishes that carried struggle, creativity, and warmth in every bite, and many of those traditions have quietly faded away. These forgotten recipes did more than feed a family. They pulled people together during winters that were colder, harder, and far less certain than ours. Picture a small kitchen lit by a single lamp, where a green tomato mincemeat pie slowly filled the room with a rich, spiced aroma. Imagine a homemade shrimp Christmas tree standing proudly at the center of a 1950s party table. Think about a simple leftover potato turning into soft, sweet holiday candy that children waited for all year. These dishes might sound unusual now, but for earlier generations, they symbolized hope and celebration. This video matters because every recipe you are about to see carries a piece of American history. When you understand these foods, you understand the families who created them, the times they lived through, and the joy they tried to protect. If you skip ahead, you will miss traditions that shaped Christmas long before modern holiday meals existed. Welcome to America's Lost Recipes, where we uncover 10 Christmas foods from our grandparents that deserve a place on today's table. Let us begin. Pinwheel potato candy. In many American kitchens during the Great Depression and beyond, ingredients were scarce, and every scrap of food had to be used wisely. From this necessity, some of the most creative Christmas treats were born. One of the most remarkable was pinwheel potato candy, a dessert that transformed a humble leftover potato into something magical. German immigrants and their descendants were experts at using what they had on hand. Mashed potatoes, still warm from boiling, were carefully blended with powdered sugar to form a smooth, pliable dough. The result was surprisingly sweet and elastic, almost like a soft pastry. Once rolled thin, a layer of rich peanut butter was spread evenly across the surface. Then, the dough was rolled tightly into a cylinder, chilled, and sliced to reveal perfect pinwheel swirls, golden brown, uniform, and visually striking. For children of that era, watching the transformation of a simple potato into a delicate, sweet candy was nothing short of kitchen magic. Every swirl of peanut butter and sugar was a small miracle, demonstrating the ingenuity and care that went into holiday cooking. Families passed the recipe from one generation to the next, often written in faded notebooks or remembered from a mother's instructions. Though modern variations may add chocolate or cream cheese, purists argue that these additions compromise the candy's authentic texture and taste. In communities like Appalachia and Pennsylvania coal towns, the original recipe persists as a link to a shared past, a time when creativity, resourcefulness, and family warmth defined the Christmas table. Pinwheel potato candy is not merely a sweet treat. It is a celebration of resilience, imagination, and the simple joys of the holiday season. By rediscovering recipes like this, we reconnect with the traditions that once made Christmas truly special. Christmas tree-shaped cheese ball. In the 1970s, holiday entertaining in America reached a new level of creativity and flair. Families were no longer content with simple appetizers. They wanted dishes that were both visually impressive and delicious. One such creation was the Christmas tree-shaped cheese ball, a festive reinvention of the classic cheese ball that had been popular in the 1950s and 1960s. This dish combined practicality with artistry. The base was made of cream cheese and cheddar cheese, sometimes mixed with a hint of pineapple to introduce a subtle sweetness that balanced the savory flavors. The mixture was carefully molded into the shape of a Christmas tree, providing a playful yet elegant centerpiece for holiday parties. Bright red pimentos, chopped nuts, and sprigs of parsley were applied like ornaments, giving the dish its signature festive appearance. Guests often admired the cheese tree before tasting it, making it both a conversation starter and a functional appetizer. It was a reflection of the era's focus on presentation, where suburban holiday gatherings were as much about aesthetics as they were about food. The careful construction of the dish highlighted patience and attention to detail, qualities highly valued in home entertaining during that period. Though less common today, the Christmas tree-shaped cheese ball remains a nostalgic reminder of the golden age of entertaining. It celebrates a time when simple ingredients could be transformed into impressive works of culinary art. By revisiting this recipe, we reconnect with the playful creativity and meticulous effort that once defined American holiday tables. The Christmas tree-shaped cheese ball is more than an appetizer. It is a symbol of ingenuity, tradition, and the joyful spirit that grandparents brought to every holiday celebration. Grandma's stuffed celery. During the 1960s and 1970s, holiday appetizers were designed to balance flavor, texture, and appearance. Among the most beloved of these was Grandma's stuffed celery, a simple yet elegant dish that showcased creativity with minimal ingredients. Crisp celery sticks were hollowed slightly and filled with rich mixtures such as cream cheese, peanut butter, or pimento cheese. To make the dish festive, the tops were often garnished with a sprinkle of paprika or finely chopped nuts, adding color and texture to the table. This appetizer was a favorite for children and adults alike. The crispness of the celery provided a refreshing contrast to the creamy filling, while the subtle saltiness balanced the richer holiday dishes. Families often prepared it together, passing the recipe down through handwritten notes, old cookbooks, or personal instruction from mother to daughter. Each batch carried with it the care and attention of the home cook, reflecting a tradition of frugality, resourcefulness, and thoughtful presentation. Grandma's stuffed celery exemplifies the ingenuity of early American holiday cooking. It demonstrates how a few simple ingredients could be transformed into something both elegant and satisfying. The dish also highlights the communal nature of holiday preparation, where multiple generations could gather in the kitchen to contribute. Children learned the value of patience, precision, and creativity, while adults relived the joy of crafting something beautiful for loved ones. Although less common on modern holiday tables, stuffed celery retains a special place in memory. Its simplicity and charm remind us that the spirit of Christmas was not just in extravagant meals, but in the care, creativity, and love put into every dish. By revisiting recipes like this, we honor the culinary ingenuity of our grandparents and keep their traditions alive. Aspic molds. From the 1930s through the 1970s, aspic molds represented elegance and precision in American holiday cooking. These gelatin-based creations were often filled with vegetables, seafood, or meat, and carefully molded to form intricate shapes that graced Christmas and New Year tables. Bright red tomato aspic was a particularly popular choice, its vivid color adding both visual appeal and a sense of festivity. The appeal of aspic molds went beyond taste. They were considered a symbol of sophistication, reflecting the hostess's attention to detail and dedication to presentation. Families meticulously planned and prepared each layer, often following recipes from cookbooks or magazines that showcased perfectly molded dishes as the standard of refined entertaining. For children, the sound of gelatin being poured and the anticipation of seeing the finished mold added to the excitement of holiday celebrations. Making an aspic mold required patience and careful technique. Each ingredient had to be prepared precisely, and the gelatin had to set correctly to ensure the final dish held its shape. The finished product was a centerpiece, admired before it was eaten. Its intricate designs and glossy appearance made it a conversation starter at holiday gatherings, embodying the craftsmanship of mid-century home cooks. Over time, as modern cooking trends shifted toward simpler and faster preparations, aspic molds gradually fell out of favor. The complexity that once made them impressive became seen as unnecessary. Yet, they remain a nostalgic reminder of a period when holiday meals were not only about flavor but also about artistry, tradition, and meticulous care. Aspic molds are more than a gelatin dish, they are a testament to the elegance, patience, and creativity that defined American holiday entertaining. Rediscovering them allows us to reconnect with the rituals and joys that shaped Christmas tables for generations past. Sugar plums. Sugar plums are among the most cherished Christmas traditions in American history, yet their origin is often misunderstood. Contrary to their name, sugar plums contain no actual plums. Instead, they are small, gem-like candies made from dried fruits, nuts, and warm spices, carefully blended to create a rich and fragrant treat. Common ingredients included dates, figs, apricots, almonds, and walnuts, mixed with honey and a touch of orange zest. Each candy was hand-rolled and lightly dusted with fine sugar, creating the appearance of tiny, precious treasures. Making sugar plums was a labor-intensive holiday ritual that brought families together. Children often helped with the rolling while adults shared stories of past Christmases. The process required patience and precision, teaching valuable lessons in teamwork and tradition. The candies were stored in tins, often for weeks, allowing the flavors to meld and intensify, resulting in a complexity that modern treats rarely achieve. These candies were once considered a luxury, as their ingredients were expensive and not easily accessible during the winter months. Sugar plums symbolized celebration, care, and the joy of giving. Each candy represented a small, handcrafted piece of holiday magic, a tangible reminder that the simplest ingredients could create extraordinary delights when prepared with attention and love. While contemporary energy balls or holiday confections share some similarities, they rarely carry the same ceremonial significance, texture, or depth of flavor. Sugar plums connect us to a time when the holiday season required effort, creativity, and careful planning, reinforcing bonds within families and communities. Rediscovering sugar plums allows us to honor these traditions, to taste the holidays as our grandparents did, and to bring a little of their joy, patience, and ingenuity back to our Christmas tables. Sausage balls. During the 1970s, holiday parties in America demanded dishes that were both simple to prepare and satisfying for guests. Among the most popular of these was the sausage ball, a warm, savory appetizer that became a staple at Christmas gatherings. The recipe was straightforward yet indulgent, combining ground sausage, shredded cheddar cheese, and biscuit mix into small, bite-sized balls that baked to a golden brown perfection. Sausage balls were valued not only for their rich flavor but also for their efficiency. Busy families could prepare large batches quickly, making them ideal for entertaining a crowd. Children eagerly awaited these treats, often sneaking extra pieces from the kitchen while watching holiday specials on television. The crispy exterior paired with the cheesy, savory interior made them a comforting and satisfying snack, perfectly suited to the festive season. The popularity of sausage balls reflected the practical creativity of mid-century American cooks. The dish balanced convenience, taste, and presentation, allowing hosts to focus on other aspects of holiday preparation without sacrificing quality. They were often served alongside eggnog, cheese platters, and other traditional appetizers, creating a well-rounded holiday spread. Although sausage balls continue to exist today, their peak popularity in the 1970s highlights a period when simple, hearty, and shareable foods defined festive gatherings. This recipe demonstrates how a few basic ingredients, when thoughtfully combined, could produce a dish that delighted guests and brought families together. Sausage balls are more than just an appetizer. They represent the warm community spirit of holiday celebrations, the ingenuity of home cooks, and the nostalgic flavors that define Christmas in decades past. By revisiting this recipe, we honor the culinary traditions of our grandparents and preserve a small but meaningful piece of American holiday history. Mary's Christmas Shrimp Tree. In the 1970s, holiday tables were as much about spectacle as they were about flavor. One of the most striking creations of this era was Mary's Christmas Shrimp Tree, a centerpiece that combined culinary skill with visual artistry. Using a foam cone covered in foil, shrimp cocktails were carefully skewered and arranged to form the shape of a miniature Christmas tree. Cherry tomatoes, parsley, and olives were added to mimic ornaments, creating a festive display that captured the attention of every guest. This dish was more than decoration, it was a shared experience. Families would gather in the kitchen to prepare the tree together, skewering shrimp and arranging garnishes while swapping stories and laughter. The presentation of the tree at the table often preceded the tasting, making it both a conversation starter and a beloved appetizer. Guests admired the creativity before indulging in the savory shrimp, blending visual delight with culinary satisfaction. Mary's Christmas Shrimp Tree reflects the spirit of the baby boomer generation, which valued flair, fun, and imaginative entertaining. The dish embodies the era's emphasis on creating memorable holiday experiences, where presentation and ingenuity were just as important as flavor. Children growing up in this period recall the excitement of seeing the towering tree of shrimp, a symbol of festive extravagance that still evokes nostalgia today. Although this dish has largely faded from modern holiday menus, it serves as a reminder of a time when home cooks sought to impress and delight in equal measure. It represents creativity, community, and the joy of crafting something extraordinary from simple ingredients. Rediscovering Mary's Christmas Shrimp Tree allows us to reconnect with the playful inventiveness of past generations, bringing a touch of vintage holiday magic back to our tables. Green tomato mincemeat pie. During the Great Depression and into the 1950s, resourcefulness in the kitchen was essential, and one of the most creative holiday dishes was the green tomato mincemeat pie. When traditional ingredients like meat and imported raisins were costly or scarce, inventive home cooks turned to green tomatoes as a substitute. These unripe tomatoes mimicked the texture and tanginess of traditional mincemeat, allowing families to maintain holiday traditions even in hard times. The filling was a careful blend of green tomatoes, apples, raisins, brown sugar, vinegar, and a generous mix of Christmas spices including cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg. The mixture simmered slowly for hours, allowing the flavors to deepen and meld. In some households, the filling was aged for several weeks in crocks, creating a complex taste that even skeptical family members would admire. Each pie became a testament to patience, ingenuity, and dedication to holiday cooking. Green tomato mincemeat pie was more than just a practical solution, it became a point of pride for resourceful housewives. Recipes spread through church cookbooks, sewing circles, and handwritten family notes, creating a small network of culinary creativity and tradition. It taught children the importance of making do with what was available while producing something delicious and festive. Although modern bakers rarely prepare this pie, it remains a symbol of the inventiveness and resilience of past generations. It reminds us that holiday magic often comes not from expensive ingredients but from creativity, care, and love put into the kitchen. By revisiting green tomato mincemeat pie, we reconnect with the resourcefulness and ingenuity that shaped Christmas tables of old, preserving a meaningful piece of American culinary history and honoring the traditions our grandparents held dear. Egg rolls. In the 1970s, American holiday menus began to embrace flavors from around the world, reflecting a growing curiosity for international cuisine. One surprisingly popular addition to Christmas parties was the egg roll, a dish that combined crispiness, savory fillings, and convenient presentation. Egg rolls offered a touch of exotic flair while remaining approachable for the home cook. The typical egg roll of the era was filled with a combination of cabbage, carrots, and either pork or shrimp. Each roll was tightly wrapped in a thin dough and fried to a golden crisp, producing a satisfying crunch with every bite. Served alongside sweet and sour dipping sauces, egg rolls delighted both children and adults, offering a playful variation on traditional holiday appetizers. Frozen and ready-made versions began to appear in grocery stores during this time, making egg rolls accessible for busy families. This convenience allowed hosts to introduce a new flavor without spending hours in the kitchen, reflecting the era's growing emphasis on efficiency in holiday entertaining. Despite this, many families still prepared egg rolls from scratch, valuing the hands-on experience and the rich, fresh taste that homemade fillings provided. Egg rolls became more than a dish, they represented the adventurous spirit of the baby boomer generation. Children growing up in the 1980s remember sneaking these crispy treats from party trays, associating them with the excitement and novelty of holiday celebrations. The combination of texture, flavor, and visual appeal made egg rolls a standout among appetizers, blending tradition with a hint of culinary exploration. Although egg rolls are now often seen as everyday takeout rather than a holiday specialty, revisiting this dish reminds us of a time when American Christmas tables welcomed new tastes and creativity. They are a nostalgic testament to curiosity, ingenuity, and the joy of exploring global flavors during the festive season. These 10 forgotten Christmas recipes are more than food, they are memories, creativity, and the spirit of past generations preserved on a plate. Each bite tells a story of ingenuity, warmth, and celebration. By bringing these dishes back to our tables, we honor the traditions our grandparents cherished and keep their holiday magic alive. If these recipes sparked your nostalgia or inspired you to try something new this season, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join us as we continue to uncover the flavors and stories of America's past, one forgotten recipe at a time. Share your favorite holiday memory or the recipe you would love to try in the comments below, and let us bring a little vintage Christmas spirit into every home.